Cactus Jack Manson on top of Chris Adams before he got his between the ropes between his legs.
Before Adams could even get out of his beautiful ring jacket.
No! Manson snapped Merritt all the way to the floor. Did you see that, Mark?
Adams really dumped him, and now Adams is ready for action in the ring.
Manson snapped Merritt all the way from the ring to the floor, and now, gentlemen, Chris Adams going to work on Cactus Jack Manson.
Adams in the bright red tights, but his anger has got his skin the same color.
His anger, though, directed at Gorgeous Gary Young, Mark. A few weeks ago, or a few days ago, I should say, on another television taping, Gorgeous Gary Young, up in the face of Chris Adams, actually spit on Adams. Adams enraged, and he has just been in an uproar ever since on the crowd for Devastation Incorporated, Gary Young in particular, and going through Cactus Jack Manson to get to him.
Gary Young, the close teammate of Manson.
Americans are one, right? Now you can see that Chris Adams bends the rule more than any wrestler around. And now all you stupid people rally around the likes of Chris Adams, Jeff Jarrett, the Von Erichs, and you, eggplant head. You know, I'm going to tell you, yeah, that's right. You know, you're just a little bit incapacitated up here, just like the Von Erichs, Frank. Like I said before, I know you need help financially. I might just help you. I want to buy you, boy. I want to put you to work on my farm.
Adams still in control after the unsolicited interruption by Skandor Akbar.
Well, I don't know what to say in return. I guess he got me.
I don't think you look like an eggplant.
Thanks, I think. Adams all over top of Manson. I'm going to tell you now, they ignited a fire in Chris Adams. Gorgeous Gary, there was an interview session. They were talking about this and that. Young was talking about Devastation Incorporated. And Young came right down and got in his face and said, you got a problem, by golly. He said, you take it up with me. And that's what they did. There, super kick, low.
Down right in the midsection with that.
Boy, did he ever. Did he ever. Manson put those arms up to block the face. Took that one dead in the stomach.
The move by Manson temporarily squelches the Adams momentum.
But the super kick, Mark, has done its damage.
Niels Mascaris, the superstar, the man of 1,000 faces, will be an interview guest shortly, preceding our great main event.
And next week, he's part of that big double main event we have. He's going against the Latin heartthrob Al Perez, who now has General Skandor Akbar in his corner. Another story here on World Class Championship Wrestling. For the number 2 contender spot, Jerry the King Lawler's World Heavyweight Championship.
Another great acquisition by Akbar in the signing of the Latin heartthrob Al Perez, a former world champion.
And certainly qualified to beat Jerry the King Lawler, to meet him anyway, for the World Heavyweight Championship. He has all the classifications. He is a wrestling machine, as that one caught Manson in the lower abdomen.
Speaking of world title shots, a big main event next week. Bam Bam Bigelow against modern-day warrior Kerry Von Erich, the winner to get a world heavyweight title shot.
That part of that big double main event next week. Kerry Von Erich versus Bam Bam Bigelow. Main event number 2. Neil Mascaris versus Al Perez for the number 2 contender spot.
Adams right out on the floor with Cactus Jack. Here they come.
Holy smoke, did Adams hit that post? Oh, what? Good gracious, I heard that smack over here, Mark.
Adams trying to get up, but Manson is right there on top of him. Here they come.
Over top of the table here one more time. I'll tell you, this has been a war for Chris Adams, and he is fighting it by himself right now against Cactus Jack Manson.
Adams stomped back out to the feet of the ringside patrons as Bronco Lubitsch continues the count.
And Akbar looking on the side. Watch your back, Chris. Akbar's behind you. Watch your back, Chris.
Akbar now angry at Frank for the warning. And down goes Adams again.
He's got enough going on in that ring. He doesn't need your interference. What's the matter? You afraid he can't beat him?
Cactus Jack Manson with current momentum after Adams had it early in the match.
Look at the look in the eyes of that Manson. He is a wild man. This is his kind of assault now. Outside the ring, in the ring. In the ring. He's on the throat, he's on the back, he's kicking him, he's pounding him with poles. You're not going to see any wrestling from Cactus Jack Manson. Wrestling will be funnel this time, but if he ever gets a break, and that's what he got on Chris Adams, he got a break. then this is his style right here. He just marauds and mauls, Mark.
Cactus Jack, no regard for his own well-being, much less anyone else's.
Certainly not. The master of the consequences, that big elbow that he drops, and it is an incredible thing. Look at this. Slingshot into the top bottom rope. Throat across the bottom rope. Cactus Jack, a slingshot, a catapult. Caught that throat across the rope, and here's a cover into the ropes, though. Lubitsch alertly watching the ropes, Mark, calling for the break.
Great excitement here in our second match on World Class Championship Wrestling.
And Manson certainly carrying the battle, the gentleman Chris Adams. A sleeper. I don't think I've seen one quite that way. I guess with that cast on that wrist, Manson adapting it. He's cut the pressure off the carotid artery. You can see it. There's no choke from our vantage point. You can see underneath the throat. There it is. You can see a glimpse of it. It's not on the throat. It is on the carotid artery, Mark.
As you watch the sleeper and as you watch Akbar, remember that could be the man, he and Yamamoto, who sees controlling power of this wrestling organization if they get their way in this bidding war with Max Andrews representing the USWA.
I'll tell you, Mark, the sides change almost daily. Akbar's money seems to know no bounds. Fortunately, the USWA is very financially well off, very well backed. And they're backing Max Andrews at every turn. They have countered every move. So it just continues to escalate. Of course, the stockholders are the ones that are profiting because the value has just quadrupled in the last 2 weeks.
Adams, get in there. Back to his feet.
Adams coming up for a top wrist lock. He's got the pressure. He's in under the elbow. Oh, a handful of hair changes the leverage very quickly, Mark.
Indeed it does. Bronco Lubitsch suspicious, although he was screened out by the bodies.
You can't tell me that guy's completely crazy. He screened Lubitsch right out of that spot and then just did the dirty work.
Adams squirming around, trying to keep Manson from being able to get the proper leverage. As Frank told you, that's not a lock on the chin and the front of the neck, but the arteries on the sides of the head and neck.
But lacking the hand, the grip in the hand because of that cast, he's not able to put him away. He's only able to control him now. A good wrestler at this point. Look at this. Look at the foot on the ropes, Mark.
Bronco counting him off, but Manson trying to get the extra leverage.
That's not going to work. A good wrestler now would vary his attack. He would change his attack from here. Manson just continues to pound.
Manson grabs him in the corner. What's he going to do now?
I don't think he even knows.
This way they come into the corner in front of Frank and I, and it's ahead of the turnbuckle.
Manson, one of the enforcers of Devastation Incorporated, a reversal. Holy smoke, all the way to the top. Manson all the way to the top and to the floor. And Mark, this one may be over. This match may be over right here. Lubitsch in position is starting to count.
Akbar protesting, trying to buy a little time.
I think this one's over, Mark. He hit that turnbuckle and went all the way to the top. No, it's not. Adams isn't going to allow it to be over.
And
this thing should be over, Mark.
Adams with another drive on Manson, knowing that Akbar is close by.
Adams out of the ring, not allowing Lubitsch to count it out, and that's what I was sure he was going to do. Holy smoke. Manson put himself over the top rope. Akbar screaming about disqualifications, but Manson trying to avoid the pressure on that turnbuckle, threw his body high up onto the top turnbuckle, his hip hitting that top turnbuckle, spinning him over the top, Mark. I don't think I've ever seen anybody come back from that. Manson has done it, but he's done it with Kane and Chris Adams.
And they're still at it. What a bout.
Goodness gracious, I can't believe Manson's still on his feet, as Adams is in control.
Fans chanting as Adams really pounds.
Adams over the top of Cactus Jack Manson, and frankly, I don't know what's keeping Cactus Jack Manson on his feet.
Reversal by Manson. Adams with the splash.
There's a cover. He's got the leg hook. Young. It's Gary Young in the ring. No! Young dropped an elbow across. I told you the animosity was between Young and Adams. And now Adams has got Gary Young. He's got him trapped in the corner. He's got him trapped in the corner. He doesn't see the chair from behind, Mark. He doesn't see Cactus Jack from behind. Oh, no.
And he nails him across the back of the head with that chair.
Adams dropped like he was shot, hit in the back of the head with the corner of that chair. Gorgeous Gary Young. We talked about it early. That's where the animosity was, and Manson wasted no time. Look, no, no, no. Move the chair, move the chair.
Oh, a pile driver on the chair.
A spiked pile driver on the chair. No, no, no. Adams defenseless in the middle of the ring. Young dropping elbows. Gentlemen, Chris Adams spiked on the chair with a pile driver. And I'll tell you, Gary Young does the pile driver as well as anybody, including Eric Embry.
This is really scary now. It's devastation out of control.
Adams unable to defend himself. Lubitsch. No, that's not the thing to do. We've got to get away from this, Mark. We'll be back with more wrestling excitement right after these commercial messages.
Possessed with gorgeous Gary Young on his mind. Tony Falk, your referee.